Okay, so now these low blood glucose levels, they are immediately going to go and they're going to activate the alpha cells, guys, the alpha cells of your islets of Langerhans of the pancreas. But now immediately these alpha cells, they are going to come to know that, oh my god, the blood glucose levels are going to go down low, we need to do something about it. Immediately they start producing your glucagon. Okay, they start producing glucagon. But now, guys, what is this glucagon going to do? The glucagon, we said that this is now going to go and travel to the liver. Okay, and now it is going to go to the liver, and in the liver, what is it going to do, guys? In the liver, we said we are going to have one reaction that is going to take place. That is, your glycogen is going to be converted to glucose, and glucose is going to be converted to glycogen, depending upon how the level of your glucose is. So here, what happens is, guys, whatever glycogen that is there, okay, whatever glycogen that is there, okay, that is immediately going to be converted into your glucose. So glycogen, immediately this is converted into your glucose. Now what happens to glucose, guys? Glucose is the one which is now going to be poured directly into the blood. And as it is poured directly into the blood, what are you going to see? That the blood glucose levels are going to increase slowly. This is how your glucagon is going to work. Okay, but now on the other hand, guys, let's try to see how is insulin going to work. Okay, so for example, let's say somehow your blood glucose levels are extremely high. Okay, and now if the blood glucose levels are high, guys, now this is going to go to the same pancreas, but now this time it is going to activate the beta cells of your pancreas. Now as the beta cells are activated, immediately they start producing your insulin. So they start producing insulin. Okay. But now, what is this insulin going to do? Insulin is now going to travel, guys, from here to your liver. Okay. And now, what is it going to do? It is going to tell the cells of the liver to convert this excess glucose into your glycogen. So excess glucose gets converted into glycogen. Glycogen is stored into your liver, and because glycogen is being stored, now what are you going to see, guys? Immediately you are going to see that now the blood glucose levels are going to decrease that way. So this is it. This is that entire diagram. Okay, now in your NEET exams, now generally this is not asked in your 12th boards, but in NEET exams this is asked. Okay, so guys, you need to know what is happening out over here. Okay, everybody all right with this thing? Okay, so guys, with this, we are done with your entire pancreas. Now let's try to move ahead and let's try to see your thyroid gland. Okay, and let's try to see how everything is going to be with thyroid. Where is it going to be located? How is it going to be? What are the parts and so on and so forth. Okay. Okay, so now guys, when we talk about the thyroid gland, as we have already said, where is the thyroid gland located? It is going to be located in the throat region. So we can say that it is present in the front part of the neck region. Okay. Okay, so how is it going to be? What is happening? Let's try to see. So, guys, first of all, we are going to have, let's imagine this is our larynx. Okay, larynx is nothing but it is our voice box. Okay, and now from this voice box, guys, let's imagine you are going to see the trachea coming down like this. So, we have the larynx, and then from the larynx, we are going to have the trachea. Okay. But now, guys, just below the larynx, now what are we going to see? That we are going to have this bilobe structure. Okay, and also on this larynx, guys, what are we going to see? You are going to see that we have these C-shaped cartilages. Now, I've already told you, like, why do we have these C-shaped cartilages? So that it keeps the entire trachea distended. This trachea should not collapse under any circumstances. So to keep this open, we need to keep this thing like like distended with the help of this C-shaped cartilages. So if you want, I'll just once again write it down. So basically, glucagon gives us glucose whenever the body needs, and insulin stores it into the liver whenever excess. Yes, absolutely. Both of them, they are going to do something either to increase. See, basically, if you're look, so if you're looking at your glucagon will try to do something and increase the blood glucose levels by introducing your glucose somehow or the other. And insulin will take the same glucose and it will be like, either used by the body cells, or here we are showing it is going to be used by your liver and converted into your glycogen. So it is going to store it so that it is not in the free form and it is not running in the blood. So that way. Okay, but now let's try to see, guys, what is going to happen. We are going to have this bilobed structure, and this bilobed structure, guys, we also call this thing as your butterfly-like structure because it appears that way. So from the second C-shaped cartilage, guys, okay, so second C-shaped cartilage extending up to the fourth C-shaped cartilage, okay, you are going to see that, oh, there is going to be this bilobed gland being present. And this bilobed gland, this is nothing but our thyroid gland, guys. Okay, from the second C-shaped cartilage to your fourth C-shaped cartilage. Okay, so roughly around that region. Okay, but now let's try to see like what exactly is going to happen. How is it going to be? So see, guys, I told you this is going to be a bilobe structure. So this is the first lobe, and this is going to be the second lobe. That is why we say this is going to be bilobe. Okay. Second thing, guys, now if we are talking about the dimensions of this thing, how long is this thing going to be and how wide is this thing going to be? Guys, when we talk about this in length, this is going to be roughly around 5 centimeter. And if you look at the width out over here, this is going to be roughly around 3 centimeter. 5 centimeter to 3 centimeters. Okay, but now let's try to see. See, guys, we said that okay, we are having these two lobes, but these two lobes, they are connected by something in between. See, this is a narrow bridge. Now here I have shown it as a little larger one. Okay, but actually it is a narrow bridge. This narrow bridge which connects the two lobes together. Okay, guys, please pay attention. Okay, this thing which is going to connect the two lobes together, this is called as your isthmus. Okay, always remember isthmus is nothing but it is going to be a joining thing. Okay, so like for example, we have the isthmus, the Park Strait, which connects India and Sri Lanka. So it's a small bridge kind of a thing, the Adams Bridge, or Ram Setu that we call it as. So that is nothing but your isthmus. Okay. But now, guys, this whatever I was showing it to you, I told you this is going to be in the front side. That is going to be in the ventral side. But on the back side, guys, there is going to be something because on top of these thyroid gland, we have said there are going to be a pair of some other glands as well. So this was the front side, or I can say this is going to be the ventral side. Okay, but now let's try to look at the backside. So, guys, at the backside, what are we going to see? We are going to see first we have esophagus. You're not going to be able to see this thing, the trachea, okay? Because behind the trachea, we are going to have esophagus. Also, what did I say, guys? When we talk about your thyroid gland is not like a complete collar. It's not like a circle around your entire neck region. It is going to be present only and only in the front region, right? So what you're going to see is you're going to see that this trachea basically, the esophagus, besides this, what you're going to see is only the two lobes coming out like this, hanging at the sides. You are not going to see this entire structure. Like, like how we were seeing it in the front side, it is not going to be from the back side. You're just going to see these two lobes like popping out. That's it. And now on top of this thing, you are going to see one pair, one pair of your parathyroid glands. Okay, so basically we have like on one side one pair, on the other side one pair. So we have two pairs of parathyroid glands in total. Okay, but now what is this parathyroid gland going to produce? Parathyroid glands, they produce a hormone which is called as your parathormone. Okay, we will be seeing this thing like what is this parathormone going to do and what not, and we will also talk about your this thing. Okay, but now let's try to focus ourselves onto your thyroid gland. Okay, so first of all, guys, what we need to know that this is going to be a bilobed gland. Second thing, where is this thing going to be located? It is going to be located in the neck region below the larynx. Okay, so basically, whatever is happening in the front portion of the neck, so this is going to be present below the larynx on either side of the trachea. It is a bilobed gland on either side of the trachea. Joined together by a narrow bridge that is isthmus. Okay, but now how long is it going to extend, guys? I told you this is going to be extending from the second to the fourth C-shaped cartilages, not beyond that. Okay, so this is what we need to know. But now, guys, you know what? When we talk about your exocrine glands, okay, exocrine glands meaning the ones which had duct. Who is the largest exocrine gland? Can anybody guess, guys? In fact, when we were talking about some gland out over here, I had told you about it. Can anybody guess the largest exocrine gland? Very nice. Sneha, Viva, both of you have given me the right answer. Yes, it is nothing but your liver, largest exocrine gland. But when we talk about the largest endocrine gland, guys, this is the one who is largest endocrine gland. Okay, remember, first of all, this is going to be highly vascular, meaning this is going to have large amounts of your blood supply. And secondly, this is the largest endocrine gland ever. Okay, but now if I'm saying the largest endocrine, so how long? I mean, how much is this really going to weigh? Like like what is its size? Like size. So we've already said it is going to be 3 centimeters by 5 centimeters. Okay, but if you look at the weight, guys, this is going to roughly be around 25 to 30 grams, approximately 25 to 30 grams. Guys, if we compare the largest exocrine gland, that is liver, that is going to weigh around 1.5 kg. So where is 1.5 kg and where is 25 to 30 grams? Okay, it is going to be really, really small as compared to your liver. Okay, but now the next thing is, guys, let's try to talk a little bit more. Like if we look at the color and all, guys, how is the color? The color is going to be reddish. Okay, it is going to be somewhat reddish. If we talk about the dimensions, this is going to be 5 centimeters by 3 centimeters. Okay, where does this thing come up from? Guys, this originates from the endoderm. Okay, and this is very important. They ask you this thing. Okay, so where does this thing originate from? Okay, so it originates from the endoderm. And finally, guys, when we look at the outer surface of this, outer surface is going to be made up of your connective tissues. Okay, so this is the first thing that we need to know. But now, guys, we need to take a sample of this and we need to see how is it really going to look inside a microscope. So let's imagine we have taken a knife, okay, and we have scratched the surface of your thyroid gland. Okay, and now we take a small tissue. Okay, we have taken a small tissue and we have put it under the microscope. So let's try to see what is really going to happen out over here. So guys, let's say this is that slide that we have got. Okay, so this is your glass slide. Okay, and now I told you, we are going to just take a small sample out over here, and let's say we have taken that tissue and we have just placed it like this. Now let's try to zoom in into this. Basically, let's try to put this thing in your microscope and let's try to see how is it really going to appear. So guys, what appears is, see, first of all, you are going to see that the entire surface, basically, it is going to appear as a circle, because in microscope, everything appears to be circular. Okay, so like this. And inside this, guys, what are we going to see? You are going to see that there are going to be some cells which are going to be floating here and there. Okay, let's try to see how. Okay, so first of all, guys, you let's imagine now. We have this as the entire your section of your thyroid gland. What we are going to see is, guys, in this entire section, first of all, you will see that this entire thyroid gland is going to be divided into these some compartments. Okay, now how is this going to be divided into these compartments? It is going to be with the help of these lines, and these lines we call them as trabeculae. These are our trabeculae. Okay, fine. But now, because these trabeculae give rise to compartments, guys, these compartments we call them as your lobules. Okay, so we have your trabeculae, we have your lobules. And now, dispersed inside these lobules, guys, now what are we going to see? We are going to see that there are going to be these large follicles. Okay, so I'm just drawing it randomly, guys. Okay, so let's imagine like this. Not necessary that each compartment should have one. There can be many. Okay, so not real necessity. Okay, but now what are these follicles that I'm showing? These follicles, these are nothing but these are our thyroid follicles, and these are the real ones which are responsible for the production of your thyroxine. Because when we talk about your thyroid gland, guys, thyroid gland produces two important hormones. One is your thyroxine, and the second one is your calcitonin. So both of them we will have to see how it is going to be produced. Okay, so now guys, these are going to be our thyroid follicles. Okay, and these thyroid follicles, guys, they are going to slowly produce their own products, and their own products are what? It is nothing but your thyroxine. So they are going to give rise to thyroxine. Okay, but now, guys, what happens is when we are looking at these, you'll also see that in between these, you are going to see some certain cells which are going to be like floating here and there. Okay, so let's try to see what are these cells. So guys, somewhere out over here, you are going to see like groups of these cells, or individual cells. Okay, not necessarily they have to be in groups. Okay, so you will see that there are these small cells which are dispersed here and there. See, just like how we had talked about the islets of Langerhans, they were like dispersed inside the pancreas. Same way. But now, what are these cells, guys? These cells we call them as parafollicular cells. Right, these are our parafollicular cells. And what are these responsible for, guys? See, just like thyroid follicles was producing thyroxine, parafollicular cells, they are going to produce your thyrocalcitonin. Okay, so thyrocalcitonin, or simply it is going to be your calcitonin. Okay, you can call this thing as calcitonin also, so there is no issues like that. Okay, calcitonin, calcitonin, okay, they are the same thing. Okay, everybody all right with this thing? Okay, now But when we talk about the the ground substance, so see guys, here we can see that the cells are out over there, but they are floating in something. Now what is that floating part called? Basically the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm out over here, we call this thing as stroma. And now guys, I told you, see that this is going to be really really rich. It is going to be highly vascular, so we need to show some blood vessels out over here. So along with this, guys, you will see that inside this, you have large network of your blood vessels. Okay, so that's it. So this is what we need to know about the structure of your thyroid gland. Okay, so guys, just once again go through this, just see if everybody is okay. Then we can move ahead with the next part. Okay, everybody fine? Is everybody okay with the diagram? So guys, in your exams now, sometimes they ask you to draw this diagram. Okay, so very very important. Generally it comes for 2 marks. Okay, so that plate is what? Trabeculae. Acha, acha, this plate, this is not plate, this is glass slide. I was showing you that we have taken the sample on the glass slide, and then we were seeing it in a microscope. Okay, all right everyone, fine, let's move ahead. Okay, chalo. So now let's try to move ahead and let's try to see, guys, what exactly is this thyroid follicle going to do? Because see, we need to produce your hormone, thyroxine. But thyroxine is going to be produced in certain manner. Let's try to see, what exactly is happening out over there. Okay, chalo. So guys, once again, when we talk about your thyroid gland, basically the thyroid follicles is the most important ones, okay, because they are producing your thyroxine. Okay, but now these thyroid follicles, if you look at them, guys, these are now going to produce two hormones out over there. Okay, yes, it is going to be two hormones. Now, what are these two hormones? One, we are going to have your thyroxine. Okay, and this thyroxine is nothing but your tetraiodothyronine. Okay, tetraiodothyronine. Okay, and this is the actual one, guys. We call this thing as T4. Okay, and on the other side, guys, we are going to have your triiodothyronine. Okay, this triiodothyronine, guys, this is actually going to be known as your T3. Okay, so you are going to see that these are the ones who are going to be there. But now the idea is, how are we really going to see this thing happening? Okay, so what really is happening? So, guys, when I say tetraiodothyronine, so basically you are going to have tetra meaning four iodine molecules out over there. Okay, and if you talk about your triiodothyronine, it means there are three iodine molecules out over there. So we have tetra and triiodothyronine. But how is it going to happen? Okay, so guys, initially what is going to happen? We are going to have your tyrosine. Okay, tyrosine is an amino acid. So we have tyrosine. Now what happens, guys? You are going to see that now iodine molecule. Okay, so let's say we have one iodine molecule. This iodine molecule, it is now going to come and it is going to attach itself to your tyrosine molecule. Okay, this is the amino acid tyrosine. Okay, how is it going to happen? With the help of some kind of your enzyme. Okay, now the moment you are going to see this reaction, guys, what are we going to get? We get tyrosine and one molecule of iodine. This becomes your monoiodotyrone. Tyrone. Okay. Okay, monoiodothyronine, or what do we call this thing? We call this thing as T1. Okay, fine. Okay, and now you will see, get now to this, you are going to add one more iodine molecule. So let's say one more molecule has come out over here. So that is going to give you diiodotyrone. Thyronine. Okay. Now, the moment we have diiodothyronine, guys, what is this? This is going to be T2. Now you will see that, guys, in your system, like in your follicles, you are going to have this T1 and T2. They are going to be like, producing some kind of a colloidal thing. Okay. But now what happens is these molecules, they are going to further react with one another. Okay. And now they are going to give you, now when both of them, they are going to, come up together, you are going to get T3 or your triiodothyronine. Okay, when they come up together or they bind together, we get triiodothyronine. And finally, if you add one more molecule, or like you may see, like two diiodothyronine, they are going to unite with one another, or this T2 is going to bind with the two molecules of your T1, then you are going to get like T4. So ultimately, you are going to get T4 out over here. That is your tetraiodothyronine. Okay, and all this reaction is taking place in your thyroid follicles. Okay, but now what happens is, guys, both of them, they are going to have some important characteristics. Let's see what. Okay, now this, when we talk about your tetraiodothyronine, guys, this is the actual thyroxine that your body requires. Okay, but now when we talk about your difference between these two, guys, T4, this is the one which is going to be produced in less quantities. Actually, it is produced in less quantities. Whereas if you look at triiodothyronine, that is the one who is produced in more quantities. Okay, it is really, really huge stuff, huge amounts. Okay, this is in more quantity. Okay, fine. Okay, but now second thing is, Guys, when we talk about T4, T4 has a very short lifespan. Short lifespan means what? It is, if it is produced in your body, it is going to be active only for a little while. But this T3 that is there, guys, this is going to have a large lifespan. Stays active for a long time. But now the most important difference, guys, most important difference is, see, when we talk about your T4, okay, T4 is actually less active. T4 is less active and T3 is technically more active. Okay, so the T3 is like, if you think about all the reactions and all that are taking place and all, they can be easily controlled by your T3. However, okay, remember this T3 basically, uh, we always have this a little bit of like, even if T3 is going to be like more active, then why is T4 going to be used as your this thing? However, T4 is the one which is going to be like, more stable. It is going to be like, more capable of bringing about like, the physiological changes. Okay, even though it is less active as compared to your T3, it is still going to be better than your T4, and that is why T4 is the one which is going to be used as your hormone. Okay, so guys, this is what we need to know with regards to the differences between the two. Okay, now one thing that I would like to tell you guys. Okay, now in your last year's edition, okay, in your last year's edition, they had said that T4 is produced in less quantities, and T3 is produced in your more quantities. Okay, in this year's edition, that is your 2021 edition, they have said that this is produced in more quantities now, and this is produced in less quantities. Okay, however, there is a little bit of discrepancy. Okay, so once again, what I will do is like, what your the board wants, the board paper wants. Once again, I will check with other teachers and all, and I'll let you know what answer to be written for this year. Otherwise, generally we write less quantities and more quantities, but there seems to be an error in the textbook. So once again, I'll just see what the others have thought on it, and I'll let you know about it. Okay, chalo. But now, guys, let's try to move ahead and let's try to see. So we said, okay, fine. We have this thyroxine. Okay, this tetraiodothyronate. This is what we require. But now, what are the properties? Like, why are we going to go for your thyroxine? What is it going to do? So, guys, okay, so when we talk about this thyroxine, guys, first of all, what is this going to do? This is going to regulate your entire basal metabolic rate. Okay, so it regulates your BMR, basal metabolic rate. What does it mean? It means it is the one which is going to detect and it is going to take care of all the enzymatic reactions that are taking place in your body, whether it is your catabolic reaction, whether it is anabolic reaction, all of them, they are going to be regulated by thyroxine only. Okay. Second thing, guys, this is the hormone which gives calorogenic effect. Okay, so this is one who's going to give you the calorigenic effect. Now, what do I mean by this? This is the one which is going to increase the body heat. So, increases body heat or body temperature. Okay, now what you will always notice is, see, young children, and in young children also, okay, let's imagine, like, let's say we are talking about your teenagers. Okay, now if you compare yourself and your grandparents, guys, what you will notice is that you don't feel cold that easily. Okay, but if you look at your grandparents, you will feel that they feel cold really quickly. The reason is, in your body, in when you are an adult or when you're a teenager, guys, this hormone is working at its best. The amount and the levels, they are going to be really, really high. So what happens? It produces huge amounts of heat inside the body. But now, as you grow older, then the efficiency decreases, meaning you will see that the thyroxine is not going to be produced in much quantities. It is not going to work as it was intended to, and immediately you will see that females, I mean, your old people, they will start suffering from your cold. Basically, they will feel cold. Okay. Also, we have two different levels. Like how When we talk about males, males will generally tend to have more amounts of thyroxine, and females will have less amounts of thyroxine. Males, that is why, will not feel cold easily, but females, yes. Where are you going to see this thing, guys? Especially in your classes. Okay, you must have seen that, you have switched on the AC and you are sitting out over there, and immediately males, they are not feeling really cold, but females immediately they'll be like, oh my god, it is so cold, it is go slow cold, it is, change the temperature, reduce the temperature, reduce the temperature. So that is what is going to happen, because the difference in the levels of thyroxine in males and females, it is that way. Okay, so second one, this is our calorigenic effect. But apart from this, guys, this is required for proper mental development. Okay, so proper mental development. Okay, fine. Apart from this, what else is it going to do? This is also going to help in your growth a little bit. Okay, so basically, when it helps in growth, so it is going to give you proper structural development. Okay, and finally, okay, this is the one, like I already said, this is going to give you your metabolism. So, controls all the metabolism. Okay, so this is what we really need to know about the functions of your thyroxine. Okay, but now some say that this is also involved in the regulation of menstrual cycle. However, there is no clear-cut evidence as such. Okay, but you can keep it in mind. Also helps in the menstrual cycle in females. Okay, but now, guys, the next thing that we need to know. See, when we talked about the properties of hormones, what have we said? Oh, guys, just a moment, just a minute. Okay, so now what we had said was, if by any chance there is any increase, or if by any chance there is any decrease in the number, in the amount of your hormones, immediately you are going to suffer from some diseases or disorder. Okay, so now what we have to do is, guys, we have to see what is going to happen if there is hypo secretion of your thyroxine, or if there is hyper secretion of thyroxine. So let's try to see the first thing, that is, what is going to happen if you suffer from hyposecretion. Okay, so hyposecretion of thyroxine. Okay, so guys, in your hyposecretion of thyroxine, you are actually going to have three diseases out over there. Okay, so first I'll just put them down, then we'll see them in detail. First thing is going to be simple goiter. Now, guys, this simple goiter in this, what are you going to see? You are going to have a nice, football kind of thing, in your neck. Okay, and that is your basically your simple goiter, basically. Okay. Second thing, what is going to happen is you are going to see cretinism in your children. Okay, and third, it is going to be your myxoedema. Okay, which is going to be seen in your adults. So these are the three things, guys, which we are going to see in hyposecretion. Okay, fine. Let's try to see once again what exactly is going to happen. Like, first, we're talking about simple goiter. Now, what really is happening? Let's try to see. So, guys, in simple goiter, you are going to see like bulge which is going to come up into your neck region. So let me just show you quickly how this will look like. So see, guys, this picture I have taken it from your textbook only. So see, you will see that a small bulge or football kind of a thing is going to come up in the neck. Now, why is this thing, guys? Why are you seeing this happening? Simple goiter is going to occur because of deficiency of iodine in diet. Okay, this is going to be due to deficiency of iodine in the diet. Okay, and now why is this going to affect your thyroid gland? See, because we said, see, your T3 or T4, whatever it is, okay, whatever it is, guys, it is ultimately made from your iodine only, right? And if it is made from your iodine, guys, then you require proper levels of iodine to keep it functional. But now, if by any chance you are having deficiency, then T3, T4, it cannot be produced properly. And if it cannot be produced properly, guys, immediately it is going to have ill effect onto your thyroid gland. Immediately there is going to be swelling on this thing, and now you're going to see that the entire thing pops out into your neck region. So that way. So in this thing, you are going to see, guys, a swelling on the neck region, swelling. This is going to give you swelling of your thyroid, and therefore you are going to see swelling in the neck region. Okay, fine. Okay, but then after that, okay, now where are we going to see this simple goiter commonly? Okay, this is going to be a common sight, guys, as we increase in your altitude. So this is like as we go higher into altitude. Okay, so let's say to your hilly regions. Okay, now what happens is, as we are more into the higher in altitudes, guys, the amount of iodine in the diet, in the amount of iodine in the soil, in the water, decreases tremendously. Okay, it decreases tremendously, and as a result, guys, now you are not going to get any of your daily requirements. Now, because of this, immediately you will see that there is like you are going to see swelling of your thyroid gland, and you start suffering from goiter. So now we know for sure that there is this problem which exists in the hilly areas. So has the government done something to tackle it? Yes, absolutely. Now, what has the government done, guys? The government has made it mandatory to make use of your iodized salt. It has made it mandatory to use iodized salts. Okay, so that you know, with the salt, at least some amount of iodine is going to enter into your body, and it will take care of your daily requirements. So that's it, guys. That is what we need to know with regards to your simple goiter. Okay, but now let's try to move ahead, guys, and let's try to see the second one, that is cretinism. And let's try to see what really happens in cretinism. Okay, guys, what you always need to remember, whenever we are talking about cretinism is going to happen in only and only in children. And just like that, myxoedema is going to take place only and only in your adults. Okay, so now let's try to see what is really going to happen out over here. So first of all, like I said, guys, this is going to happen only and only in children. Okay, once again, why is this happening? Because of hyposecretion of thyroxine. But guys, here, what are you going to see? You are going to see two important things. First, you are going to see that the children, they are going to be mentally retarded. So you're going to have mental retardation. And the second thing you're going to see is they are going to be very, very short. So that is going to be characterized by dwarfism. So two very important things, mental retardation and dwarfism. Okay, but now these are the ones, they are also going to show some other features like what? Okay, so these are the kids basically. You are going to see that they are going to show dry skin. So this skin always tends to be dry. They are going to have thick tongues. Okay, so they may stutter, or you may see that they have trouble in speaking. So thick tongue. Along with that, you're also going to see that they tend to suffer from jaundice, but jaundice where the neonatal jaundice. Okay, so like you were suffering when you were born, and that continues for a long time. Okay, so prolonged neonatal jaundice. Okay, and then finally we are also going to see that you suffer from lethargy, meaning no matter however fresh you are, you'll still feel like you are feeling like tired, you're feeling gloomy, you don't want to do anything. Guys, just best example is like, let's say on a Sunday noon. Okay, let's say you have had a sumptuous meal, you have had like chicken biryani, you have had butter chicken, you have had naan, along with that you have had like reshmi kebab and all that stuff, guys, and now you are completely full, okay, up to the brim. Now guys, what happens now after a meal? Are you really going to be energetic? No. You're going to feel as if you are going to be like tired, drowsy. You want to just lie down in one place. That feeling is nothing but lethargy. Okay. And now after this, guys, what happens is, because of all these things that is happening in your body, you are going to suffer from constipation. Once again, if you remember, we have already spoken of constipation. Constipation is nothing but the inability to pass your fecal matter. Okay, so the frequency is going to reduce to one per week or two per week at the max. Okay, so that is going to be constipation. Okay, but now the question is, okay, the question is, uh, if we are going to suffer from cretinism, okay, and if we detect this thing, earlier, can this thing be treated? Yes, the answer is yes. Okay, this can be treated in your earlier stages, but once you are mentally retarded, then we cannot do anything about it. Okay, so always keep this in mind. This can be treated. In earlier phases. And how are you going to treat it? By giving the same hormone which is going to be missing. So you're going to take thyroid injections and you're going to poke it into the person and you're going to give it from outside. So that way. Okay. Always remember two important things that you're going to always see. One is mental retardation, and the second one is dwarfism. That's it. That is what we need to know with regards to cretinism, guys. Okay, but now the third thing I said, we are going to have myxoedema. Okay, so let's try to see what is this myxoedema going to be. So guys, first of all, like this, we said it is going to happen only in children. Myxoedema is going to happen only and only in adults. Okay, but now if we talk about this thing, what is the characteristic? Guys, what you're going to see is, in this case, you are going to have swelling on the face and the extremities of the body. Okay, this is the most important characteristics. See guys, basically you are going to see mix means it is going to be something of the mixed nature. And edema is nothing but swelling, so swelling of the hands and the face. Okay, so basically the extremities of the body and the face. Okay, but now guys, when we talk about these people, like the people suffering from myxoedema, because the thyroxine levels are low, you're not going to be like really energetic. So what you will see is these people, they are going to be mentally dull. Okay, along with that, they are going to be really slow in their working as such. And finally, the last thing we are going to see, that they are going to be sluggish. So mentally dull, they are going to be slow, they are going to be sluggish. Okay, apart from this, apart from this, what you will always see guys, because the thyroxine levels are going to be low, you will see this is person is going to have low heart rate. Okay, so low heart rate, because you are going to have low heart rate guys, you are going to have low bp. Okay, because both of them, they are directly connected. So low heart rate, therefore low bp. Along with this, I told you, see, thyroxine is your calorogenic hormone, so that is going to provide heat. So here it is less in amounts. These, they do not get proper amounts of thyroxine, proper amounts of energy. So these people, they always feel cold. They always feel cold, and because of this, they will always suffer from low body temperature. Okay, and finally, like I said, they are going to be retarded. They're retarded name, basically they are going to be mentally dull. Okay, so what you will see is these people mentally dull, body is going to be a little dull, so these are going to be a little slow in their sexual development, or we can say that they exhibit little bit of a retarded sexual development. That's it. That is what we need to know with regards to your myxoedema, guys. Okay, so guys, first go through these things. These are going to be your hyposecretion. Then we are going to move on to your hypersecretion. Now, from your exam point of view, guys, this is a very important question. This is asked for 4 marks. Write a short note on hyposecretion of thyroid gland. So in that case, what you have to do is, first you have to give a little bit of idea about what is the thyroid gland, how is it going to be, where are you going to see it, what are the hormones produced by it. Yes, and then you immediately go into your this thing, that is like, what are the deficiency diseases. Okay, so guys, keep this thing in mind. Okay, so just go through this once, and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, regulates ये क्या BMR. This is BMR, basal metabolic rate. Okay, next question is, so people who take thyroid tablets, they are taking it for the regulation of BMR? Yes. So what it is going to be doing is, like, see, most of the people, huh, like as you move ahead in life, you will see some of the females, especially, they will suffer from either hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. Okay, why? Because this is actually a side effect of menopause. So you will see either, like, they may suffer. It is not like a necessity that they have to suffer, but you will see many of the females, they suffer from it. Okay, but now why do they take it? Let's imagine you are suffering from hyposecretion, low levels of your thyroxine. Then I need to produce thyroxine in your body somehow or the other, or I need to supply that thyroxine by some way or the other. That job is done by your tablet. So you're going to take tablets, those tablets are going to disperse into your body, and now they're going to make that hormone available to your system that way. Okay, so guys, just have a look. Yeah. Then we have to talk about your hyper secretion, guys. Hyper secretion, we have only one thing. Okay, just let me know once you're done, guys. Can you explain BMR, like what it is exactly? So what happens is, see, when we talk about all the metabolic reactions, so for example, let's say we are talking about respiration. See, at some points, a respiration is going to be more, at sometimes it is going to be less. So who is going to determine, like, how it is going to be? Like, when do you need to increase the respiration rate of respiration? When do you need to decrease the rate of respiration? There has to be some control. Who's going to be, like, determining this? That that determining factor is nothing but your BMR, basal metabolic rate. So thyroxine is the one, he is going to make sure, like, if your body requires heat, what it is going to do, it is going to increase the rate of respiration. As the rate of respiration increases, now you're going to see it is going to produce more amounts of heat, so your objective is fulfilled. Let's say your body requires less amounts of heat, meaning you are feeling really hot, or you are producing too much of energy, you need to stop it. Then what is it going to do? Now this is going to bring about, like, this is going to tell the cells to stop to decrease the levels of respiration. So immediately you will see the respiration levels are going to be adjusted, and now they will produce little amounts of energy so that you don't feel that much amounts of heat. So this is like a regulation of your metabolism. So that is BMR, basal metabolic rate, or basal metabolic, like regulation of BMR. Okay, all right. Okay, sure. But now, guys, let's try to move ahead and let's try to see the hyper secretion one. Now, guys, in hyper secretion, we have only one thing, okay, and that is exophthalmic goiter. Okay, but now this exophthalmic goiter also has one more name, and we call it as your Graves' disease. Very, very, very important, guys. Always asked in your NEET. Okay, Graves' disease. Okay, because in your lower standards you may have come across exophthalmic goiter, but here we have a proper name for it. Okay, so let's try to see hypersecretion. We have only one thing out over here, that is exophthalmic goiter. Okay, or like I said, this is known as your Graves disease. Okay, but now what exactly is going to happen out over here? Let's try to figure this thing. Okay, so guys, let's see this picture. Okay, the first thing that you're going to notice about this picture is, guys, the eyeballs. Just look at the eyeballs. Aake hai ki batate. Okay, you are not going to understand, because these eyeballs, they are like popping out, and that is the most important characteristic, guys. So you see, exo meaning what? It is going to be outward. Ophthalmic meaning it is going to be your eyes. So you are going to see, guys, in this thing is going to be characterized by protruding eyes. First, you are going to have protruding eyes. Now, why protruding eyes, guys? Because in this you're going to see more amounts of deposition of fatty substances behind the eyeball, so because of which the eyeballs are going to be pushed towards the outside. So first thing, this is going to be the most important characteristic. Okay, fine. But now, okay, if you want, I will just put it down. This is due to deposition of. Okay, due to deposition of fats in the eye sockets. Okay, but now along with this, now see guys, what is the second term? It is going to be goiter. So along with your protruding eyes, you're also going to suffer from your goiter in this case. So swelling in the neck region. Okay, fine. But now, guys, here we are seeing hyper secretion. Hyper meaning you're going to have more amounts of thyroxine. But if there is more amounts of thyroxine, guys, what are you going to see? You are going to see that, oh, you are going to have increased heart rate. Okay, so you will suffer from increased heart rate. Increased heart rate, therefore, you're going to suffer from increased blood pressure. Increased blood pressure. So you are going to have, like, a little bit restlessness. So, guys, you are going to be restless. Okay, now what do I mean by restlessness? Let's try to understand this, guys. Okay, so for example, you know, let's say during your exams, okay, tomorrow there is a paper, okay, and tonight you have just gone to sleep. Tell me, like, do you have a peaceful sleep at that time? I don't think so. Okay, I don't think so. 99.9% you won't get a proper sleep. Why? Because you are constantly thinking about tomorrow, what am I going to be doing? What am I going to do? Even like, last night, why I didn't sleep. Okay, even